ready for the lines marking time. You're ready.
At this time, let's take a look at the starting lineups for tonight's game. First, the El Camino defense. The starting lineup for the Cats looks as follows. On defense, Buddy Brown, Greg Gallegos, and Clarence Martin on the line. Now, junior line, Ryan McLaughlin. Second and fifth.
One live on two. Ready, three, and take three.
Hamels on the year, 27 of 61 for 437 yards. Sets up the screen. Jarries has it with running room. To the 40, the 45, midfield, the 45-40, 35-30, 25-20, the 10, and he's down at the 5-yard line.
It's only from three. We're live on three now. We're live on three. Hamels a little bit wider.
So the Cats are going to try and
Ready on two. Ready on
capitalize.
two.
We have
Take
7:59 remaining. And welcome to the Murph, San Diego Jack Murphy Stadium. It's the Division II championship game between the El Camino Wildcats and the San Pasqual Golden Eagles. Hello everyone, Mark Keller along with the coach John Quintera. Thanks for joining us for all the action. Let's talk about San Pasqual. What a high-powered offense. They've only lost a couple of games this year, technically only one because they only lost one on the field. They actually lost one of the games due to an ineligible player, but the San Pasqual running team, they will run the football. Ryan Hill does a great job directing Mike Dolan's offense.
Well, Ryan Hill, I think, is one of the top quarterbacks in San Diego. I imagine he'll definitely be an all-CIF player this year. Also, the Avocado League's Offensive Player of the Year. He's the man that makes the Golden Eagles go, and he's got a couple of good guys in the backfield to go to.
And you're talking about people like fullback Ethan Barquette, the classic fullback. He's only been playing football for a couple of years. Add to that Rick Braden, who's averaging 10 yards a carry, and Andy Blunt. This team's rushed for over 3,700 yards this year.
Well, they don't like to throw the football. I listened to Coach Dolan last week in a press conference. He said we had to throw one pass in a playoff game. We weren't real happy about it, but I'll tell you what, they do a lot of nice things. Their blockers up front do a tremendous job. And one real key note about this, they had no starters returning on that offensive side of the ball on the line this year.
That's true. They've done a good job last couple of years. The semifinals last couple of years, losing to Torrey Pines last year, and La Jolla in the famous Fog Bowl, losing that one 50-49.
Well, I was on my way to that ball game, and I turned around and went home. It was so bad over on the coast. But San Pasqual's got a long history of having a tremendous program. First under Bob Woodhouse, then Mike Dolan took over, and they haven't missed a beat with Coach Dolan at the helm.
Meanwhile, the El Camino Wildcats, they entered the game 9-4 after a lackluster 6-4 regular season. They've picked up their program another notch with victories over Serra, Helix, and an exciting win a week ago against Sweetwater.
Well, no doubt about it. They beat a couple of real name schools the last couple of weeks. Anytime you beat a Jim Arni's coach team in Helix, you're beating a good one. Let's remember, Helix going into the last regular season game was #1 ranked team in San Diego. Hey, great team. Then they beat Sweetwater, which had an outstanding run in the playoffs, beating Gene Alum, who's probably got the highest winning percentage of all time in San Diego high school football. Herb Meyer's got the Wildcats playing the best football they've played all year.
Well, simply look up Herb Meyer when you're talking El Camino, the athletic director and the only coach in the school's history. You know, the last touchdown they scored in the win over Sweetwater now gives El Camino 5,006 points in the school's history.
Well, Herb Meyer, what can you say about Herb? He was over at Oceanside for years, was a winner, had a lot of tremendous players at Oceanside that we'll talk about later in the broadcast, and he just kept it going at El Camino. Done a great job, not only the head football coach, athletic director, and the real leader of the North County Conference in North San Diego County.
El Camino in the school's 18-year history. This is their 9th showing here in the championship game. They have an overall record of 5-2-1. They have a total of 6 championships. They just keep rolling along.
Well, there's no doubt about it. I think this team, maybe more so than a lot of others, have really tested Coach Meyer's patience this year. They're going to start Trey Creighton tonight at quarterback. He was hurt one week, disciplined the following week. He's going to get a start here at the Murph after starting last year as a junior against Torrey Pines.
It's the Division II championship game here on Championship Monday from San Diego Jack Murphy Stadium between El Camino and San Pasqual. The introductions of tonight's starting lineup is coming up in a moment. We're a few minutes away from the start of the Division II championship game here on Championship Monday at the Murph San Diego Jack Murphy Stadium. At this time, let's introduce the starting lineups. First, we'll start with the El Camino Wildcats and their look on offense. You see the offensive line of Martin Ruiz, Ivy McCullough, the younger brother of Abdul McCullough, Larry Weber, and Buddy Brown, Anthony Sega at tight end. Steve Forte, the big play wide receiver, along with Jeremy G., who has played well in these playoffs. Fullback Seth Morrison and Philip Powell, a strong running tandem. It will be Trey Creighton at quarterback today, takes the place of Kenny Wilka, who has started all the playoff games up until now. Jeff Mitchell, the place kicker. Here's how the El Camino defense shapes up. A Cat team which has surrendered 17 points per game. Brown, Clarence Martin, those two have played well, along with Tony Maltatia on the line. Lovelady Arona Ta'ili, the star youngster, only a sophomore, star of the future at El Camino. Anthony Sega and Troy Garlock, who had the 31-yard INT for a touchdown against Sweetwater. Eubanks, G, Morrison, and Holzbauer. Jordan Klus does the punting. An El Camino team that finished the regular season with a record of 9 wins against 4 losses, outscored their opponents 342 to 230. Now we'll take a look at the offense for the San Pasqual Golden Eagles. 10-2 on the year, 6-1 in league, co-champs. Clifford, Beltran, Gaither, Jackson, the big guy on the line, along with Kevin Booman. Josh Elias and Mark Bash, the receivers. Barquette, Braden, and Blunt, the running core. Ryan Hill is the quarterback. And their offense scores 34.25 a game. And we'll now take a look at their defense, which only gives up 9.3 a game, surrendered 112 points during the season. Big defensive line, Trowbridge at 6'6", Banner at 6'7", Langpap and Marsh, Soto, Jubella, Krupsaw, leading tackler with 90 on the year, and Serrato. Matt Bonar, Mike Berry, and Chris Connolly are the defensive backs. We'd like to remind you today's Division II championship game is brought to you by the San Pasqual Athletic Booster Club. They support all the sporting events at San Pasqual High School. And if you're looking to get involved and become a member or see how you can join the Booster Club, you could give Mike Benar a call. His number is 743-7903. And an honorary sponsorship for today's game made possible by the El Camino Athletic Booster Club. The El Camino High School Athletic Booster Club makes sure that the El Camino sports program is the best that it can be. And they're going to be having a sale coming up for tickets for the PGA Invitational at Torrey Pines. All proceeds of tickets sold go towards the El Camino Athletic Program, so make sure you contact them. They're led by Carol Wilka and Vance Morrison, who surprisingly are the parents of Kenny Wilka and Seth Morrison. And it will be Chris Connolly kicking off. The Kamikaze crew does the bowing to the crowd. The balloons go up in the air, yellow and blue, and this game is underway. El Camino in their brown with white and yellow. It's taken at the 5-yard line by Philip Powell. Gets away from one man with running room to the 10, the 15, 20, 25, 30, and he's brought down at the 30-yard line. Nice return by Philip Powell.
I think it's going to be very important for El Camino to get a drive going early. They were pretty much blown out in the first meeting this year, 48-15. At San Pasqual. It's going to be very important confidence-wise to get something going against the Golden Eagles' high-powered offense.
Meanwhile, San Pasqual's defense, their front four have 29 sacks, the total team 42 sacks. As Creighton starts out of the I formation, he's going airborne early. He completes it to Steve Forte to the 35, and that's where he's brought down after a 5-yard pickup. That'll bring up 2nd down and 5. That's the guy to go to, Steve Forte, the transfer, the track star from Woodbridge High School.
Good job by Creighton, taking a 3-step drop, setting up and firing. It's good positive yardage on 1st down. That's something El Camino is going to need to do tonight, throw on 1st down.
Creighton 41 of 102 for 656 yards and 6 touchdowns. They give to Seth Morrison. Morrison works his way up to the 39, will bring up 3rd and short. Seth Morrison, a 1,000-yard rusher, can also catch the ball out of the backfield. He's got 7 receptions.
I listened to Herb Meyer last week at the Sportscasters Sports Writers Luncheon, and he said he was just happy to be here this year. This team's had their ups and downs, but boy, the last few weeks they've been really on the ups.
3rd and 1 from the 39. We have 10:45 to go in quarter number 1, the Division II championship game. They go to the ground, didn't get much, didn't need much, but it's going to be enough for the first down across the 40 to actually the 43, so that's good for a gain of 4. Morrison picks up 4 yards. That's what Morrison does a lot. He'll pick up 4 yards on carries, and then all of a sudden he'll break a big one open. And Phillip Powell, the man who has speed to burn, is set split. Corey Quincy now in the game at wide receiver. He's wide left. Cool set to the right side. 7-man front by San Pasqual. Creighton rolling. He's in trouble and he's going down. Big Brad Banner, all 6, 7 of them, brings Creighton down to the turf. Banner at 6'7", 200 has created havoc for opposing offenses all season long.
Banner's had a real good year. He was named 2nd team All-Avocado League. A lot of people thought he should have made the 1st team. And then on the other side, Josh Trowbridge, who missed the first 5 games of the year, a definite Division I player. But he's had a bad back, and we'll have to watch that through the course of the game. That has given him problems even since he's been back since week 6.
For El Camino, 2nd and 20 from their 34, so about a loss of 10. Schools like Cal, UCLA, Arizona, and Northern Arizona looking at Trowbridge and Banner. Creighton gives the ball to Powell. Across the 35 to the 36, good for a gain of 2, but that brings up 3rd and long, John.
Well, we saw Banner the previous play. That play we saw Trowbridge, the other Division I candidate for the San Pasqual Golden Eagles.
The way the Golden Eagles got here, they had a first-round bye, and then they whipped their opponents in the playoffs, El Capitan 49-7, and then handed crosstown rival Escondido a 55-20 defeat. They rule it 3rd and 17. Creighton to pass, completes to Quincy. To the outside, the 40, knocked out of bounds at around the 41. Good coverage by Sal Serrato, Seth Krupsaw and company. That'll bring up 4th down.
Good job of running to the ball by the San Pasqual defense. And that's one thing, Mark, a lot of people have not noticed about San Pasqual when they hear about their high-powered offense. They don't realize how tough this team is defensively.
Jordan Kloos into punt, standing on his own 25. And meanwhile, back to return, it's Mike Berry, number 34, and he's standing on his own 25-yard line. Kloos gets the kick away, end over end, a fair catch called. The Golden Eagles start 1st and 10 from their own 30-yard line.
Fair catch called by Mike Berry for San Pasqual. 1st down 10, Eagles from your own 30-yard line.
Speaking to head coach Mike Dolan earlier in the week, he said, Mark, I've got 2 goals each year. Number 1 is to make it to the playoffs, and once we make the playoffs, my only goal is to win in the stadium. And he finds himself here. Hill starts 1st and 10 with the ball from their own 30. The give to Barquette. He takes it up the middle, just crosses the 30 to about the 31, a pickup of 1 for Barquette. He will take the load offensively for this squad. Barquette on the year enters the game 1,218 yards on 229 carries. Over 5 yards a pop and good for 20 touchdowns. You know, John, out of the 59 touchdowns this team has scored, 57 have been on the ground.
Well, they love to pound the football, and that's the first order of attack for the El Camino defense. You got to tackle the fullback on the option series.
2nd and 9 from the 31. Hill on the keeper, running room, the 35, dishes off to Braden, the 40, 45, 50. Gives it to Blunt, actually, and Blunt is into El Camino territory at the 46-yard line.
That was a rather unusual play. Ryan Hill saw that he had some room over there, and he started around corner, but he got knocked back deeper into the backfield and lost his pitch, so he ended up handing it to Braden, who made a nice gain up the sidelines.
As a matter of fact, that's a pickup of 25 on the play, so 1st and 10 from the Cat 46. Division II championships here on KOCT Channel 17. Hill on the keeper, he's in trouble and he's going down. Nice tackle for the El Camino Wildcats. It's Arona Ta'ili. Arona, just a sophomore, 6 foot 176. Also the third string quarterback, and he's a good-looking athlete.
Even on the first two plays right there where Hills tried to keep the ball, El Camino lineman doing a good job of getting through the line of scrimmage and really controlling the line of scrimmage the first couple plays.
That's a loss of 9 on the play, and it puts them back at their own 45-yard line for San Pasqual. They go into their shift with the typical 3-man backfield. Man in motion is Blunt. They give the ball on a counter. The give to Braden. He's up to the 49 for a 5-yard pickup. Anthony Sega helps out on the tackle along with Buddy Brown. Buddy Brown, number 54, the spiritual leader of this defensive line. Buddy is the classic overachiever that plays football for Herb Meyer's program. May not be blessed with the size or speed, but always seems to have his nose around the football. Brings up 3rd down and 15 from the 49-yard line. Man in motion, Ethan Barquette. Maybe a rare passing situation. The pass, it's completed. A hard hit. And they're going to be close to the first down. It's weird seeing Ryan Hill throw the football, John.
Well, it sure is. David Stevens made the catch, but it was rather unusual that Danny Bryant kind of got in the way and almost deflected the pass, but Stevens able to hang on. Ryan Hill don't throw much, but I've seen him since his junior year, and when he does throw, he can be very effective.
Well, they work their way down to the El Camino 36-yard line. Pickup of 14, Braden with the catch. Also, Braden running the football 810 yards on the year, averaging 10 yards a pop. 6:08 to go here in the first quarter. And I think we're going to have an official timeout. The El Camino Wildcats this year, when they rush for over 200 yards, are a perfect 9-0. So it doesn't take a brain surgeon to tell you that they need to rush for over 200 yards if they're going to win this football game. However, defensively, El Camino has given up over 200 points, and it's the most ever in the history of the Wildcat program. In the first meeting between these two teams, all San Pasqual, they dominated and won 48-15, handing the Cats their worst defeat ever. Hill on the quarterback keeper. Second running room, but then he gets tripped up by Seth Morrison after a 2-yard gain. Hill was lucky not to lose 4 on the play, John.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a good thing Seth Morrison grabbed around the ankles, or he might have gained a lot more than 4 on the play. Going into tonight's ball game, Ryan Hill only needs 48 yards to go over the 1,000-yard mark for the year. That's pretty unusual for a quarterback, even an option quarterback.
As a matter of fact, all year long, Ryan Hill, he also likes to hit. He's wanted to play defensive back, and he's wanted to be on the kamikaze special teams. Mike Dolan says no way. 2nd and 8 from the 34. They run the ball up the middle and not much doing as the Cats do a good job of closing that one up, starring Clarence Martin and Arona Ta'ili. And it's going to bring up 3rd down and about 7 yards to go.
San Pasqual likes to do a lot of misdirection. They like to do counters. They do little reverses every once in a while. They try to get you going one way and then come back the other. We'll have to watch that as you get down closer to the goal line.
3rd down and 7 from the El Camino 33-yard line. Also look for Ryan Gallegos, a tough nose guard at 5'9", 195. He's a junior. Let's see what they do here. Hill on the quarterback keeper. Works his way just inside the 30. Everyone piles up. And it's going to bring up 4th down, going to bring him 4 yards shy of that first down marker.
Tackled by Buddy Brown and Anthony Sega.
I think they'll go for it here, Mark. They're a little bit far out for a field goal and too close in to punt. I think they'll go ahead and go for it.
Well, they certainly won't punt, John. All year long, the San Pasqual team has only punted 23 times. That's only an average of under 2 times punting a game. They go for it. They work a double reverse to the outside. Nothing doing. The Cats able to snag it. Thank Anthony Sega and Trey Creighton from his free safety position, able to stop Rick Braden, and the Cats take over on downs.
That's San Pasqual football right there, the misdirection, but the problem was it took a little too long to develop and allowed the Wildcats to react defensively, and they did a good job. Very good series by El Camino. They're controlling the line of scrimmage thus far defensively.
3:59 remains in quarter number 1. We have no score. It's a Division II championship game between El Camino and San Pasqual. Trey Creighton barks signals. He gets the start today. He's back to pass. He's on the run now, in trouble. He'll just go to the outside. And that's a mature Trey Creighton. A year ago, Trey would have stayed in bounds and tried to take on a would-be tackler. This year, he knows he's the QB, the leader. He says, I'll get out of bounds and avoid the hit. We have 3:37 to go here in the first quarter. We have no score. For Trayton on the play, Trey picked up 3 yards, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 7 from the 33-yard line.
One thing about this game, it could go awful quick. Both teams love to run the football.
The El Camino Wildcats offense, they've done well in these playoffs. Man in motion is Steve Forte. Classic 4-man front by San Pasqual. Philip Powell to the outside, the 50, the 40, where he's collared down by Matt Bernard. Checking Chris Connolly. Connolly doesn't make the tackle. Philip Powell's gone for the score. Powell, who had 143 yards rushing a week ago and 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns to defeat Sweetwater, shows you his speed on the last play.
Great job of blocking up front by the Wildcats. Thus far, I got to say it again, both offensively and defensively, El Camino has come to play up front tonight.
Philip Powell, 27 yards, 1st and 10 from the Golden Eagle 40-yard line. 3:20 to go here in quarter number 1. A close-up of Creighton and center Ivy McCullough. He's on the keeper. He's got some running room. The 35, the 30, the 25. Trey Creighton does that oh so well. Penalty flags. You know it's a clip or a hole. They're going to bring this one back.
It's going to be a clip. As Creighton was going around in, one of the wide receivers peeled back and got a clip.
Let's see on the replay where that happened.
Right there in front.
That was Luis Avila, number 80, the wide receiver, trying to help out. But I'm sure the coaching staff and wide receiver coach Chris Green saying, I don't want you to help out in that way when it's going to cost us yards. You know, a lot of times you see the wide receivers and the skill guys who throw those illegal blocks.
Well, least of all, they're trying to throw a block. Sometimes those guys are out there like statues, not wanting to mix it up too much.
That's true, and that's going to bring up 1st and 20 as they march the ball back to the San Pasqual 49-yard line. 3:08 in the first quarter. There is no score. This El Camino team usually gets stronger as the game goes on, so no score early certainly bodes in their favor. Forte, the man in motion. Creighton gives to Powell, the 45 to the 44-yard line, where he's brought down. Good pursuit. Joel Marsh comes up with the tackle on the defensive line, number 54. Joel, a 5'10", 180-pound senior.
I like the way Herb Meyer's attacking the San Pasqual defense. He's going right at them and letting his offensive men work.
2nd down, 15.
You know, it's been a lot of blowouts this year for San Pasqual. Maybe the most impressive win outside of the win against El Camino was the 47-7 blasting against Mount Carmel in week number 2, the Palomar League squad. Creighton looks like a busted play. He's going down. That play never developed. He pays the price. Big Josh Trowbridge, number 66, brings him to his knees.
Well, you talk about running nowhere. Trey Creighton looks right, reverse pivots, and gets hammered by Trowbridge. Obviously a busted play.
It brings up 3rd down and 17 yards to go from the San Pasqual 46.
This is a situation Herb Meyer doesn't want to get in. He does not like to throw the ball downfield a whole lot, but 3rd and 17, if you're going to try to keep this drive alive, you're going to have to go to the airwaves.
Well, they're going to flood up and send receivers on the left side. Quincy and Badillo to the left. Morrison split. One-man backfield is Powell. Creighton on the keeper, gives it to Phillip. He goes to the outside, 45-40, cuts back in 35, and he's driven out of bounds at the 34 by number 34, Mike Berry. Pickup of 11 yards for Philip Powell.
Powell's an impressive little runner. This is my first opportunity to see him. I'm really enjoying watching him explode. He gets a good burst of speed in a hurry.
Phillips, a 5'7", 165-pound junior, and entering tonight, 128 carries, 818 yards with 7 touchdowns. Both he and Morrison are both juniors. 4th and 3, they're going from it for the 32. To the outside with running room, and brought down at about the 27-yard line. On the keeper, it's quarterback Kenny Wilka, the backup who came in on the short situation.
Interesting about that, Wilka comes in, and the snap actually hit the ground. It was a fumble. He picked it up and made something out of nothing and gets the 1st down.
and it's good for a first down. They'll do that a lot in the short situation, bring up in the backup quarterback, Kenny Wilka. Seems to throw defenses off a little bit with a different quarterback giving them a different look. Now Trey Creighton comes back into the game. 58 seconds to go here in the first quarter. The pitch right side to Powell, cuts back 25, and he's brought down at the 22-yard line after a 5-yard pickup. I like to see when they run those sweeps because they really have to extend the defense. Gives the offensive lineman, John, a chance to get into open ground and create some good blocks.
Well, one thing Herb Meyer's teams have always been, even when he's had the great teams or maybe a team maybe not as great as some of his league champions he's had over the year, they're all extremely quick.
Well, Mike Dolan right now, you have to wonder what his defensive coaches, including defensive coordinator Jack Corley, have in mind here. Creighton to pass, aims, fires, beautiful catch made by the tight end Anthony Sega down at the 11-yard line, and that's good for a 12-yard pickup and another first down.
Good job by Sega to go up only at 5'8". He goes up and pulls that ball down much like a 6'5", 6'6" style tight end. Good effort.
And Matt Bernard, the defensive back, makes the tackle. So we've seen the children of both the athletics booster clubs have a play. Wilka came in on one short play. Bernard makes the tackle there. We've completed quarter number one. It's been a quickie here from the Murph. We have no score between El Camino and San Pasqual in the Division II championship game. John, that might be the quickest first quarter I remember of a high school football game.
Well, I just looked at my watch. It's 4:14, and the game started at 4.
14 minutes to play a quarter.
12-minute quarter. That's unbelievable.
It most certainly is.
You'd think both coaches have dinner dates tonight.
You would think so. We'd like to remind you that this contest can be seen on KOCT Channel 17, 9 p.m. Tuesday, noon Thursday, 10:30 on Friday, and 6 Saturday. For those of you in the Dimension cable system, the local access Channel 15 will air this game on Monday, December 20th at 3 p.m. So plenty of airtime. We hope you enjoy the game. First and 10, they rule the ball at the 11-yard line. Morrison, the man in motion. Creighton on the keeper, right side to Powell, gets to the outside, and he's brought down at the 10 after a pickup of about a yard.
The pitch out.
Where it gets a little bit tough when you get down in the red zone, and a lot of teams have found out just how tough the red zone is this year. For a lot of people comment at the higher level saying that once you get inside the 20, they should not allow zone defenses. What do you think about that?
No, I think you can play whatever you want. I say, why should the defense lose the upper hand in the situation where if they could play it at midfield, why not inside the 20?
Well, they're saying the fans would like to see a few more scores rather than all these field goals this year.
Nah, I disagree. I think, high school football, there have been many exciting games, and you can have just as much excitement on a good defensive play, whether it be an interception, than seeing a great touchdown catch.
Well, I agree with you, because coaches are going to cheat regardless if it's a zone or man-to-man rule anyways.
There you go. So right now, Herb Meyer out on the field telling his team, you're faced, actually they rule it no gain, 2nd and 10 from the 11. What do you look for play call-wise here, John?
Well, I think you got Creighton in there. He presents a lot of problems to the San Pasqual defense. He can run, he can pass. I wouldn't be surprised if they ran some type of option play, run to the far side, and possibly either let Creighton keep it or pitch it to Powell. Powell's a good-looking runner. And don't forget Morrison, he's in the backfield as well.
Powell and Morrison, both members of the 4x100 relay team. Creighton, he's aiming, looking in the corner for Corey Quincy. Does he have it? Yes, touchdown El Camino with 11:30 to go in the first half. The Cats take a 6-0 lead on a beautiful catch by Corey Quincy.
Creighton to Quincy, 11 yards for the Wildcat touchdown. With 11:30 to go in the half, Wildcats 6, Eagles 0.
It's worthy of replay, John.
Great throw by Creighton. He lofts it up, lets Quincy go up and make an athletic play. Does a great job, shows the ball to the official. Touchdown Wildcats.
And he outjumps the 6'2" Mike Berry. And that was definitely an outstanding play. You'll always see that shift off the extra point. Every now and then, Herb will fake it and give it to the up man and go for the 2-point conversion. Jeff Mitchell's extra point is up. It's on the way. And it's good. 7-0 your score, 11.5 to go here in the first half.
Well, this definitely gives the Wildcats a big boost after getting blown out a few weeks back by San Pasqual. They come out early in the second quarter, take a 7-0 lead. Now it's going to give San Pasqual something a little bit to think about. They've had a great year, and they don't want to shoot themselves in the foot in Jack Murphy Stadium. Ryan Hill, who's a tremendous leader, is going to try to rally this team through the second quarter and get them on the scoreboard.
The drive for El Camino, 10 plays covering 70 yards. The touchdown pass, 11 yards from Trey Creighton to Corey Quincy. Corey Quincy, an outstanding athlete at the beginning of the year, was academically ineligible. Corey's put it together in the classroom and now helping out the Cats on the football gridiron. You always love to see these kids who come from nowhere late in the year to help out their teams.
Well, there's no doubt about that. And there's a tremendous correlation, I think, as far as having an athlete do the job on the field and in the classroom. I've always found if a guy lets me down in one area, he's going to probably let me down in the other. But a good effort to get himself eligible and get himself in Jack Murphy Stadium.
And for Corey Quincy, that's his 5th reception on the season. The kickoff by Alonzo Smith. Backed up deep in his own end, and here we go on the return. With running room, nice return up to around the 35-yard line. Good field position where San Pasqual will start 1st and 10. Matt Bonar was there on the return. And his father, Mike, the president of the San Pasqual Athletic Booster Club, has to be a happy camper with his son contributing there.
Well, you talk about the San Pasqual Booster Club. Both schools have tremendous booster programs, do a great job of raising money, which has become increasingly important in high school athletics.
1st and 10, the 36, the give to the outside, up to the 39-yard line. On the carry, Rick Braden. That's a pickup of 5. It'll bring up 2nd down and 5. With the ball at the 41-yard line, Trey Creighton makes the tackle.
2nd and 5, ball's on the 40-yard line.
I'm looking a little more. One of the things that San Pasqual was successful in the first meeting was the inside fullback running game. They really haven't used that too much with Ethan Barquette here in the first half. I look for them to try that out. Hill barks the signals. They give to the fullback Barquette, and he's got running room. That's the play I was talking about. 1st down, Golden Eagles.
I think Coach Dolan might have been listening into our broadcast. He came right with it. And again, anytime you're running against an option team, you've got to tackle the fullback first, quarterback second, then the pitch man.
1st and 10 from the 47-yard line. San Pasqual now with 30 yards rushing, 15 in the air. The Cats 65 yards rushing and 32 via the air. 1st and 10 from the 47. The give to Barquette. Midfield, running room, 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, and he's collared at the 18-yard line by Seth Morrison. Ethan Barquette with a big-time run, and they're deep in Cat territory.
Good job on the belly series. Barquette cut it back, cross over the center, and found a lot of running room. And if it wasn't for Seth Morrison's speed, he was going to be off to the races.
That's a 33-yard gain for Ethan Barquette. That's what he'll do. He'll get 4 here, 5 here, and then bang, he'll hit the big one. And he did it there on the 33-yard gain. They have the ball at the Cat 18-yard line, and they're yellow and blue with gold helmets. They give the ball off left side to Barquette, the 15. Bowls his way down to the 12. Seth Morrison gets him by the ankles and says, "You're not scoring."
Real good job by offensive lineman Kyle Phillips, number 75, blowing open that hole for Barquette.
He's down at the 12-yard line. And that was good for a pickup of 6, so it'll bring up 2nd and 4 from the El Camino 12. This drive started on their own 36-yard line. Full 3-man backfield. Hill gives to Barquette. He's down to the 6. You know, he just gets some good blocks and just follows his blockers and knows what to do with the football.
Like most great running backs, Barquette does a great job of leaning forward and get that extra yards, keeps his legs churning, but he's always got his pads down, protecting himself and getting those extra yards.
Well, it's 1st and goal from the El Camino 7, 9:09 in the first half. Cats lead 7-0. San Pasqual in on the march. They give to Barquette, and he's going to get stood up. Good play by the defensive line. I see Ryan Gallegos, along with Arona Taili. They've done a good job. You know, this overall has been a youngster squad. You know, they lost the All-Americans in guys like Mike Chapman, Bryant Westbrook, and Mike Booker. When you lose guys like that, it's tough to have the same quality ball club in back-to-back years.
Well, you sure do. You lose 3 players, Chapman at Hawaii, Westbrook at Texas, and Booker at Nebraska. You talk about some great football schools.
It's going to bring up 2nd and 5 with the ball at the 5. They give to Barquette, just gets shy of the goal line, got down to about the 2 before he got driven back. It'll bring up 3rd and goal from the 2.
He's pulled down by Anthony Siga. 3rd and goal from the 1.
I really like Ethan Barquette. He's a strong kid. He really gives it that all-out effort. And he puts every inch of his 6', 210 body into every run.
Well, this is where San Pasqual can lull you to sleep. They pound the fullback, pound the fullback, pound the fullback, and all of a sudden you'll see either Braden or Hill go around in for a touchdown.
They rule the ball at the 1. 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line as Hill barks signals. The give to Barquette, and he's in for the score. With 7:43 to go in the first half, El Camino 7, San Pasqual 6.
We found out why San Pasqual's 11-1 on the year. Granted, they do have 2 losses. One was not on the field. Their only loss was to Torrey Pines earlier in the year. But that's why they're a great football team, is they come back and answer El Camino's touchdown and a great, well-designed drive.
Chris Connolly will be in to attempt the extra point. The kick is up on the way, and it is good. We are even Steven at 7 apiece with 7:43 to go here on Championship Monday, the Division II game between El Camino and San Pasqual.
65 yards and 9 plays.
And that drive, 9 plays covering 65 yards. The plunge from 1 yard out by Ethan Barquette. And what's impressive is on that drive, Barquette had 57 of the 65 yards.
Well, they pounded away that time. That's the first time tonight San Pasqual's offensive line has really won the battle up front on that drive. Did a good job.
Momentarily, you'll see the kamikaze crew of San Pasqual bow to their parents, who will bow back in return. It's a San Pasqual tradition.
This is one of the real neat traditions in high school football I've ever seen right now. They'll turn and bow, and they'll bow back.
And the San Pasqual faithful truly appreciates it. They're here big time in force. The kick is up. It's going to be taken at the 5-yard line by Powell. Across the 10 to the 15. Cuts into the 20. He's knocked down actually at the 18-yard line. Fine play on special teams. And the Cats will start from deep in their own territory.
Great effort by Ben Lund, a 165-pound senior on special teams. He came down and laid a hit on Powell.
So El Camino starts 1st and 10 with the ball on their own 18-yard line. So Herb Meyer's squad is forced to go 82 yards if they're going to punch it in. El Camino entering today's playoff game, all-time playoff record 34-9-1. That's an impressive stat. We'll give you more numbers in a moment. Creighton barks signals. He gives to Philip Powell. Powell with a burst of speed, 30, 35, and he's collared at the 36-yard line. Good for an 18-yard pickup.
Again, Chris Conley making the big tackle. He's made 2 big tackles tonight already to save El Camino touchdowns.
Check out some of these numbers for El Camino. In 44 playoff games, they've outscored their opponents 1189 to 506, a winning margin of 15.52. In 175 regular season games, they've outscored their opponents 38-17 to 1840, a winning margin of over 11. In their total history, they've outscored their opponents by over 12 points. Forte on the reverse, running room 40, ahead to the 41 for a pickup of 5. Steve Forte, number 24.
One thing El Camino has is a lot of speed, and I think Herb Meyer needs to incorporate that speed against San Pasqual that doesn't quite have the team speed El Camino has. And I think these little misdirection reverses could hurt the Golden Eagle defense.
The Cats entered the game 3,961 yards of total offense, 3,070 come on the ground. 2nd and 4 with the ball at the 42-yard line. The give to Morrison off right side, and Seth has some running room. He's going to be close to an El Camino Wildcat first down, and he's got it. 5 yards for Morrison on the run.
First and 10, El Camino on the 48-yard line.
So they have the ball up ahead at their own 48, John.
Well, both these teams know one another very well. They play one another year in, year out. The coaches go to a lot of the same coaches' conventions. They know one another extremely well.
And the Cats lead the overall series 13 games to 5. Creighton pitches to Powell. He's nabbed up at the line of scrimmage. Good job by the defensive line, including Brad Banner, big number 71. He's quite a sight at 6'8", 200. Talking to Mike Dolan, I said, you know, Brad's a big body, but not much weight on him. And he said with Brad's body, even when he goes to college, he said that body probably cannot get over 250.
Well, at 245, 250-pound defensive end, people would like, especially at 6'8". And then you look at the other side, they got Trowbridge at 6'6", about 230.
So that was just a pickup of one on the play, 2nd and 9. Creighton's going to go airborne. He's got time. He lofts one for Sega, and he makes the catch. Good for a Cat first down, close to the 20-yard line. Anthony Sega with his second reception of the evening.
Real well thrown ball by Trey Creighton. He went back, set up real nicely, spotted Sega the whole way, lofted it out there, and Sega comes up with his second big catch of the night.
That's a pickup of 29 yards. Sega with the catch. Benar makes the stop. And here come the Cats right back, and they've been surprisingly successful in the air here in the first half with 5:02 to go in quarter number 2. Creighton, bark signals. Man in motion is Timmy Cool. They give to Powell. And he's down to about the 20-yard line off a pickup of 2.
That play was a little slow developing. Creighton turned and kind of was waiting for Powell saying, hurry up, and he finally got it to him, but it was too late. Seth Krupsaw got in there and made a nice tackle from his linebacker spot.
And Seth is the leading tackler on this squad. He has 90 tackles. You know, over the years, San Pasqual owns one CIF championship, a tie with San Marcos, that coming in 1987. They lost to Rancho Buena Vista in the finals in 88. They've lost in the semis in 89, 91, and 92. They're looking to get to the next mark. 2nd and 9 with the ball at the 20. Creighton with the ball on the keeper. Cuts inside and not much doing. Banner got to him first, and Marsh finished him off.
Good job by San Pasqual to stop Trey Creighton on that play. They didn't over-pursue. They took care of what they needed to, and that's cover the quarterback.
3rd and 7 for El Camino.
So the El Camino Wildcats are a perfect 5-0 this year against teams from San Diego. They're just 4-4 from teams in the North County, and it was a tie for 4th in league this year at 4-3, but they have played well in the playoffs. Creighton to pass, aims, fires, and the ball is caught. Nice catch made by Seth Morrison, and he's got the ball. It's going to set up 1st and goal for the Cats down at around the 10-yard line. Benar in on the stop.
San Pasqual had a blitz on El Camino's guys up front, and their offensive line did a great job of picking it up, allowed Creighton time to hit Morrison, who'd come out of the backfield on a nice reception.
So they place the ball at the 9, John. It's 1st and goal from the Golden Eagle 9, 3:18, and what has been a very quick first half. We're tied at 7 apiece. Creighton bark signals. Takes it himself, loose ball fumble. And El Camino does come up with it. At first, he gave it to Powell. He saw that the gap was closed. He decided, I'll take it myself, fumbles, but luckily recovers. So that's a loss of 4 on the play.
Well, they've had a couple of mix-up the last 2 out of 3 plays. Powell hit the hole rather late, and then the problem with the handoff right there. That's something that Coach Meyer, knowing him as a perfectionist, cannot be happy with, and I'm sure he will talk to both parties.
I'm most certainly sure that he will. I would bet my bottom dollar on that. Also, his son Joe Meyer is the quarterback coach. He's out of Sonoma State 85. He set some of the earlier El Camino records in the record book. As Creighton bark signals, Darren Norris, defensive back coach, all-time leading rusher in Cat history. Creighton to pass. He's in trouble. He's going to be on the run. Cuts back. And he's brought down at about the 8-7 yard line. Good job by the DBs because Creighton wanted to throw, but no one was open.
You mentioned Joe Meyer. I remember when Joe played at El Camino, but I also remember when he played at Maricosta College. He had a nice career there before he went on to Sonoma State. And Darren Norris, I'll tell you a story about him. Back in the early 80s, I was scouting for the Kansas City Royals. And Darren Norris, I found out, really liked baseball. And I thought about drafting him just because he was a great athlete, but he ended up going on to the University of Texas and having a pretty good career. Actually, they moved him to fullback there when they had Eric Metcalf.
Yes, and then he ended up getting drafted by the New England Patriots, played with the Atlanta Falcons. Matter of fact, he was our halftime interview in the game against Sweetwater, and he said it was just so cool to be playing football, hanging out with Neon Deion Sanders, who he said, as extroverted as he may appear, he's rather a quiet, private person, if you can believe that.
Well, that's hard to believe, isn't it?
But obviously Darren played with him, so he knows the young man.
It was kind of fun when I was coaching baseball down at Texas Tech University. Darren Norris was playing at the University of Texas, and having watched him play all through his high school career, it was kind of fun to go to Jones Stadium in Lubbock and watch him play college football. He's quite a talent.
Meanwhile, back here at San Diego Jack Murphy Stadium, 2:09 remains in the first half. We're tied at 7 between the Wildcats of El Camino and the Golden Eagles of San Pasqual. The situation, 3rd and goal with the ball at the 9-yard line. I like seeing that, the cheerleaders from both teams getting together and joining in a cheer.
There's a good look at head coach Herb Meyer trotting back to the sidelines.
3rd and goal from the 9. Put on your seatbelts. Forte set split. Morrison in the backfield as Creighton barks the signals. They flip it to the right to the outside to Powell. He cuts back, and Powell down to the 3-yard line. Seth Krupsall makes the stop. 4th and goal from the 3. Do you go for it or the chippy field goal?
Well, I think you go for it. You're down here. You got to have enough confidence in your offensive line that's done a great job thus far tonight. Give them an opportunity. Even if you don't make it, you're making a statement to your offensive line saying, we got confidence in you.
So Jeff Mitchell will be in to attempt the field goal attempt. Jeff, the 5'5", 148-pound senior, will try and give El Camino the lead. This a chippy field goal from 21 yards out. The hold by Creighton. The kick on the way. It is up, and it is good. And El Camino takes a 10-7 lead with 1:22 remaining to play here in the first half.
Well, Coach Meyer is probably a little bit smarter than I am. He went for the sure 3 points, or what you presume to be a sure 3 points. But his offensive line's done a good job. I'm a little surprised that Herb didn't go for it there.
Well, I'll tell you why. I'm not, because a week ago against Sweetwater, with around the same time remaining, a 4th and short situation, with them down 14-6 to Sweetwater, he had Mitchell kick a 24-yard field goal. It put the team into the locker room down just 14-9. It gave them momentum coming into the second half. I don't know what he told the team, but they really played an outstanding second half, and I think he feels it's very important to go into the locker room with the lead.
Very well might be, especially after playing this team earlier in the year and getting wiped out. It might send a real message to his team as they go to the locker room saying, God, we're up on these guys. It's great. Let's go out and play another 24 minutes and win ourselves a CIF banner. And I got to say this, El Camino's come in tonight, and they are ready to play.
Herb Meyer enters the game, career record 264, 105, and 13 at El Camino, a lofty 152, 60, and 7 record with 6 CIF championships. The kick taken back from the 5-yard line, ahead to the 10, 15, 20. Ahead to about the 24-yard line, where the Golden Eagles will operate 1st and 10. Matt Benar in on the return. He's brought down. We'd like to remind you that the sponsor of today's football game, the San Pasqual Athletic Booster Club, they're in charge of all the sporting events at the Golden Eagle campus, and they do an outstanding job. For more information, if you want to become a member or get involved with the different fundraisers, call Mike Benar at 743-7903. Hill barks the signals, gives up the middle. A gain to about the 29-yard line, good for a pickup of 5 as he goes to his fullback, Ethan Barquette.
Well, there's no doubt about it. Barquette's going to be happy to get to the locker room. He has been a workhorse here in the first half. We've yet to really see Ryan Hill keep the ball and turn it upfield, something that he is a master at.
He is. I call him Mr. Sleight of Hand. Does a good job running that offense. Hill takes it here on the keeper. He's got running room. Nice run. Ahead to the 40, to the 44-yard. Actually, check it about the 39-yard line. That's a nice pickup by the quarterback, Hill. He must have been here in our broadcast as well.
Exactly.
So that's a 10-yard pickup. They'll move the chains. 1st and 10 for the Golden Eagles from the 39. 30 seconds remains. San Pasqual calls timeout. And John, San Pasqual, a team that does not throw the football much, you have to figure they have to come up with a big-time run if they're going to put any more points on the board here in the first half.
Well, they don't like to throw the ball a lot, but I've watched Ryan Hill the last couple of years, and he can throw the ball. He can air it out a little bit, just not given the opportunity. A lot of people don't think he can throw, but that's not really the case. He just has not been in a program where they have the opportunity to throw a lot.
The numbers so far: El Camino 104 yards rushing, 71 passing, and they're a perfect 6 of 6 as Trey Creighton. San Pasqual has ran for 98 yards. They've passed for 15 yards. They're 1 of 1, so the two quarterbacks, John, have combined a perfect 7 of 7.
Well, I think you expect it from these two players. Trey Creighton, a senior who's been here, this is his second appearance in the finals, having guided them into the playoffs last year in the finals against Torrey Pines. And Ryan Hill, who's had 2 great years running the offense at San Pasqual. This is pretty much what I expected. 2 good athletes in their final high school game going head-to-head.
You know, we've spoken about all the stars at El Camino. San Pasqual has Jeremy Just, senior defensive back at Arizona. James Kerry, freshman offensive line at Weber State. Andy Loveland, quarterback at Oklahoma State. Brian Sandlin at Colorado State. They go to the air. The ball's incomplete. We'll have a flag. We're going to have interference against Jeremy G, number 21. That'll be an automatic first down and stops the clock with 24 ticks to go in the first half.
I'm anxious to see this call. They're going to call pass interference, I do believe, on El Camino. My question is, and we'd have to see a replay, the ball could have been tipped at the line of scrimmage. It was either tipped at the line of scrimmage or Ryan Hill got hit that might have made that ball look like it got shot. It looked like he got hit. So it's a good call, pass interference.
And the intended receiver was Josh Elias, number 20. So they'll move the chains. That's an automatic first down.
Well, Ryan looked like he threw a changeup up there and forced the interference call.
I don't know, maybe he's a baseball player too. So off the interference, it sets up 1st and 10 with the ball at the El Camino 47-yard line. 24 seconds remain as Ryan Hill barks signals. 10-7, El Camino leads in the Division II championship game. Hill with the football on the keeper. The 45 down to about the 43. Ethan Barquette wisely calls timeout, stopping the clock with 18 seconds remaining. So Ryan Hill starting to take matters into his own hand here late in the second quarter.
San Pasqual, after having such a great year of scoring so many points, if they can only get this 1 touchdown in the first half, they might be shuffling their papers a little bit at halftime, being really concerned. El Camino's done a tremendous job. They've really controlled this football game thus far. Other than that one drive where it was basically Barquette, and a little more Barquette, El Camino has completely taken control of this game.
Well, you know, Bill Kovakovic, who's such an outstanding defensive coordinator, he's really Herb Meyer's right-hand man and a fine gentleman out of Northern Iowa, class of '68. So, yeah, we revealed your age there, Bill. But he really has a good game plan. And I think when you have, number one, time to prepare, and number two, when you face a league foe, there are really no secrets. And obviously, Coach Kovakovic saw a number of things the team did not do defensively in their first meeting, and they have performed well here tonight.
Well, year in, year out, we said earlier, these teams go head-to-head against one another. Nobody's going to pull anything over on one another. They know what's everybody's playbook. They might as well just exchange playbooks because they know what's coming.
2nd and 7 from the 42, 18 seconds remain. They send Barquette man in motion. Hill's going to go to the air. Ames, fires. He completes to Elias, who makes the catch at the 29-yard line. That's a 13-yard pickup and a first down.
Well, a good job by Josh Elias catching that pass, and a good little zip on that ball by Ryan Hill that time.
No changeup on that one. He drilled it in.
First down and a timeout.
San Pasqual calls timeout. I'll tell you what, I am really surprised that they can throw the football. I never thought that Ryan Hill had it in him, but this kid can throw the football. They're obviously in a must-pass situation, and I was wondering how they were going to respond if they had to come back via the pass, but Hill is saying, hey, you know, maybe I run an option offense, but I do have the arm to complete some passes.
And I think he likes to throw the football. I talked to him earlier in the year, and he goes, you know, Coach, it's not that I don't like to throw. It's just our offense is based around running the football, and I like to throw the football. I just haven't had the opportunity, and I think he throws the ball a lot better than most people have given him credit for.
You know, Hill entered the game completing only 23 of 49 passes for 303 yards. And meanwhile, today, you know, he's completed a pair of passes good for 27 yards.
It's off to a hot start.
Yeah, a hot start indeed. 11 seconds remain to play in this first half between El Camino and San Pasqual. The Cats up 10-7. The Golden Eagles of San Pasqual are in on the march. Ryan Hill calls signals. Plenty of time on the clock. Barquette, the man in motion. He's looking for Barquette. Actually, now he completes it to his secondary guy. He hits Josh Elias again. Talk about a short pickup. That's only a gain of 3, but it does stop the clock with 7 seconds.
Well, I think right now Coach Dolan's just trying to get his team into position to kick a field goal. And again, smart play by Hill. He throws to Elias, who runs just a quick out, but he gets out of bounds and stops the clock.
Well, we've got 7 seconds remaining. It's a 2nd and 8 situation from the El Camino 28-yard line.
And that'll give him 5 more yards as El Camino jumps offside.
Yep, it was Clarence Martin, big number 55, got thrown off on the cadence. That'll cost the Cats 5 yards.
And they're going to bring on the field goal unit.
Going to bring up 3rd and 2, and those mental mistakes you talk about could come back to hurt you, because if they make the field goal here, this is going to be a 38-yard attempt, which normally would have been a 43-yard attempt.
38 yards.
Big difference.
Razor to hold for Chris Connolly.
Jack Reeser will be the holder. The place kicker is Chris Connolly. 38-yard attempt here at San Diego Jack Murphy Stadium, attempting to tie this Division II football game. The kick is up on the way. It is up, and it is no good. With 2 seconds remaining, El Camino will get to run one play, but a blown opportunity by the San Pasqual Golden Eagles.
Conley hammered it, but it was just wide to the left.
So we've had one made field goal from 21. We've had a miss from 38. And so it's been a battle of field goal kicking here in the second quarter. Actually, all the points have been scored in the second quarter after a scoreless first quarter, which was played in a whopping 14 minutes. Let's see if Creighton just falls down on it, or if they try and go for a big play. They'll hand off. They give to Philip Powell. Powell gets to the outside. 25. He's brought down at the 30-yard line. And that will do it for the first half after a 10-yard pickup. With your halftime score, it's El Camino 10 and San Pasqual 7. We'll quickly run down the scoring for you. First for El Camino, an 11-yard touchdown catch by Corey Quincy from Trey Creighton. Extra point good with 11.5 minutes to go, completing a 10-play, 70-yard drive. Then coming back was Ethan Barquette, takes it in from 1 yard out, completing a 9-play, 65-yard drive. We're tied at 7. Then El Camino ends up kicking a field goal from 21 yards out from Jeff Mitchell. Philip Powell had some key runs on that drive, and 10-7 is the way we go into the locker room. John, your thoughts on the first half of play?
Well, I thought both teams, and this sounds kind of funny, they were feeling one another out. They know one another very well. But I thought El Camino came out, did a great job of controlling the line of scrimmage, and I think San Pasqual is going to go in and probably come out and be a little more aggressive both offensively and defensively the second half.
There's your halftime score. Halftime festivities coming up in a moment.
A second, 3 first.